This was like so brutal for Bruce Boudreau.
For Rutherford to say this was all about speculation, I don't think that's reasonable. When you listen to their comments, you can really piece together the fact that they didn't want him there to begin with.
Have you seen an ownership group more hated than this in your time being alive?
The vitriol right now directed to this management team and this ownership is nothing like I have ever seen.
And by the way, they haven't fired me yet. Just
Really happy to announce Rick Tocchet as the 21st head coach of the Vancouver Canucks.
Whether it's due to the media or fan base, Vancouver has always been a difficult place to play, manage, or coach. Compounding this pressure for Tocchet was the exit of the beloved Bruce Boudreau. In this video, we take a look at how he's handled that pressure 1 year in. From his very first day as coach of the Vancouver Canucks, Rick Tocchet was under the microscope. Many fans saw this hiring as the Penguin colony installing one of their own. After all, what had Tocchet accomplished in his previous head coaching stints in Tampa and Arizona, other than a surprise bubble series victory over the Predators? Tocchet had his fair share of detractors, and some local journalists even tried to manufacture outrage by pulling up old tweets that he liked. Personal attacks aside, Tocchet inherited a team that was massively underperforming on the ice. All of that star talent, just to be in the Bedard sweepstakes? The on-ice product was so poor that the assistant coaches had to calm Tocchet down after a brutal loss. As we all know, coaching is about more than just X's and O's. It's the duty of the head coach to set the culture. When Tocchet arrived, there were rumors of a clique-like environment in the locker room. Bo Horvat wore the C, but who was the real leader of the team? Jim Rutherford even accused the locker room of having a country club feel to it. A year later, all of these rumors and accusations seem silly. Everyone in the organization is pulling in the same direction, and a recent Eastern road swing has proved that the Canucks are a legitimate contender. Let's break down the role that Rick Tocchet has played in this turnaround, starting with structure, habits, and standard. In the offseason, the Canucks marketing department needed a flashy commercial in order to sell more seasons tickets, and this is what they came up with. The words structure, habits, and standard flash on the screen, and a meme was born. Fans thoroughly ridiculed the campaign, but nobody is laughing halfway through the season. Let's begin with structure, something that Rutherford correctly identified as lacking in the Canucks' play. Under Travis Green's counterattacking style, the Canucks had a habit of giving up multiple odd-man rushes every night. This was a style that relied on Demko maintaining Vezina-caliber levels, just to have a chance at 2 points every night. Under Boudreau's skill and possession-based system, the Canucks lacked any semblance of structure in their own zone. And this led to an NHL record for most multi-goal leads blown. The results under Tocchet were instant. Under Boudreau, the Canucks were giving up 4 goals a game, which would have been a post-lockout era record if it weren't for the Ducks. Under Tocchet, that number dropped to 3.17, middle of the pack in the league. The improvements in structure this season have been staggering. The Canucks are 3rd in the league in goals against per game and have not sacrificed any offense. They lead the league in goals for and goal differential. No set of numbers highlights the Canucks' structural improvement more than their record when leading after 2. They're an astounding 26-0-1. When this team gets to lead, good luck coming back. The Canucks play with structure, a structure that is almost indestructible. Every player on the ice knows where they need to be and what they need to do to reel home the victory. On to habits, a way of behaving or a tendency that someone has settled into. Rutherford accused his team of having a country club atmosphere, and Tocchet has had to come in and dismantle that. The development of good habits can be seen in how the team practices. In Pittsburgh, Rick Tocchet had to stop the morning skate because he did not like the crispness of the passes. He proceeded to demonstrate by firing an absolutely perfect pass. The response of the players? They were amazed. What may seem like an inconsequential moment highlights the habits Tocchet is trying to instill. He understands the importance of practicing with intensity and not letting poor habits like a lazy pass creep into muscle memory. Elias Pettersson was even recorded on a hot mic, praising Tocchet for the intensity of his practices. An intense practice can be difficult for a player that does not have the required fitness, and that takes me to my next point, standard. At the end of last season, Tocchet let it be known to his players that they had 4 months to reach the Canucks' new fitness standard. He was not going to waste his time in training camp on fitness testing. He would much rather hit the ground running with systems work. His message was received loud and clear. The Canucks came into camp in shape and ready to compete. The Canucks exploded out of the gate and were able to bank points early, a much welcome change compared to a season prior, where an 0-5-2 start doomed them in October. The fitness standard would not have been achieved without buy-in from core players. And that takes me to my next point, consolidating leadership. Only a week into his tenure as a coach of the Vancouver Canucks, Rick Tocchet saw management trade away his captain, Bo Horvat. Who was going to fill this hole? Tocchet knew that he needed a core leadership group that would set his new culture of structure, habits, and standard. He put an emphasis on Elias Pettersson and Quinn Hughes to become leaders, two players who were not known to be vocal leaders. They were players who led by example with their superstar caliber play. At first, Elias Pettersson seemed the most likely candidate to get to see, but something interesting happened. Quinn Hughes has blossomed as a leader. He's gone from the quiet kid from Michigan to the outspoken heart and soul of the team. It became clear that Hughes was the right choice for the 15th captain in franchise history. And in the press conference announcing his captaincy, he stated, "I feel real confident walking into this because of the coaching staff and management." Hughes bought into Tocchet's vision and is now responsible for setting the culture in that locker room. He has the power to demand that his teammates arrive early prior to training camp and work just as hard as he does. Along with Miller and Pettersson, the Canucks leadership is easily identifiable, and Tocchet deserves credit for challenging these players to be better leaders on and off the ice. Accountability. A crucial ingredient when attempting to turn around a struggling hockey team is accountability. After all, how are you going to move forward if you can't accept responsibility for where you are? Accountability is something that can be seen all throughout the Canucks organization. Tocchet will hold his players accountable. Early on in the season, he publicly called out Dakota Joshua for playing soft. He accused him of not skating hard enough or being physical. Where is Joshua now? He is top 10 in the league in hits and makes up 1/3 of the hottest third line in hockey. JT Miller is a known hothead. Early in the season, Tocchet benched JT Miller for 2 undisciplined penalties that he took against Nashville. Miller responded with a goal in the third period and is on pace for his first 100-point season. Andrei Kuzmenko scored 39 goals last season, but a lack of forechecking and poor defensive habits have led to multiple healthy scratches. But this is where things get interesting. The players are also showing accountability and have apologized to Tocchet. Kuzmenko drew back into the lineup versus Sharks and scored twice. After the game, he apologized to Tocchet for his defensive effort. Elias Pettersson apologized to Tocchet after a 6-2 win over the Oilers because he believed he had more to give. Tocchet himself has also taken accountability. He's not afraid to admit when he's wrong. In a game in New Jersey, he pulled Petey aside and told him, "Hey man, I made the wrong read there. I've been wrong before. It's okay to be vulnerable as a coach." Tocchet has been labeled a hard-nosed coach, but when you hear stories like this, it helps you understand why he is so well respected by his players. He is not above admitting his mistakes and will hold his coaching staff accountable. And this takes me to my final point, an elite coaching staff. So far in this video, I've highlighted Tocchet's contributions to the Canucks, but a coaching staff is the sum of its parts. Coming into the season, Kevin Bieksa praised the star power and depth of the Canucks coaching staff and highlighted it as a reason for optimism in Vancouver. He hit the nail on the head. For as good as Tocchet has been, he would not be achieving this level of success without Adam Foote, Sergei Gonchar, the Sedins, Mike Yeo, and Ian Clark. When you look at this coaching staff, the first thing you realize is how diverse it is. All of these players had differing playing styles. Rick Tocchet is the perfect coach to resonate with JT Miller. He played a similar power forward style and Miller respects that. You can see it in how he responded to the benching against Nashville. Quinn Hughes has given Adam Foote credit for helping round out his defensive game, and Sergei Gonchar credit for helping with his fine offensive details. The Sedins were cerebral players. They ooze skill, and I'm sure they've passed down many tricks of the trade to compatriot Elias Pettersson. Ian Clark, it goes without saying, he is the best goalie coach in the league and he deserves his own video. I'm not a clairvoyant. I can't tell you what the future holds. All I can do is look to the past and come up with an analysis. However, there are predictors of success, not just in hockey, but in life. Structure is what creates a sense of control and helps you weather any storm that may come your way. Good habits require discipline to build and require repetition, determination. Standards are benchmarks that let us know what is acceptable and what is not. The Canucks still have a long way to go before they achieve their ultimate goal, but what was once a meme is not so funny anymore. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please support the channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Thank you.